So ESPN.com reported yesterday via Don Van Natta that several years ago there was an incident involving cheerleaders who were changing, who were allegedly filmed by former Cowboys PR executive Rich Dalrymple. The incident resulted in a settlement in the amount of $2.4 million with a non-disclosure agreement. Somebody disclosed the non-disclosure agreement, and the team's position is that there was an investigation conducted and no wrongdoing was found. So $2.4 million is paid. No wrongdoing is found. Doesn't really add up if you're giving away that kind of money without some conclusion that somebody did something they shouldn't have done to justify that payment. I told you yesterday, Myles, and anybody who may be watching, and if you were watching yesterday, thank you. And if you actually came back today after yesterday, thank you even more. But I sent an email to the NFL requesting comment. They ignored me. I sent a follow-up. They ignored me. This morning, I said, third time's a charm, unless it isn't, and I got my response. And the response is this: we will decline comment as this was a club matter. I didn't respond to that. They gave me their quote. I had what I wanted. I'm not going to argue with them over whether or not they should or shouldn't view this as something they should investigate, but that's why we have this platform, to comment on their comment. I think it's bullcrap. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's reckless, and I think they're trying to hide this. It's a club matter. Everything's a club matter. The Washington Commanders situation is a club matter. Everything that happens at a team is a club matter. Didn't the commissioner just say last Wednesday we can't let a team investigate itself? That's what the Cowboys did. They investigated themselves, they found no wrongdoing, and they paid $2.4 million to bury it. How is that not a league matter? And I'll say this, Myles, I wrote this today as well. This was something that I raised when the Panthers had the issue with Jerry Richardson. And one of the questions was, when you have these allegations that are made that result in a settlement, when or if you tell the league, because the underlying conduct may have violated the personal conduct policy, the thing that they use as a cudgel against the players whenever and wherever and however they can. If it's an owner, no. Jimmy Haslam, personal conduct policy because of the rampant racketeering that was happening. It is, but no, none of that there. And any other example of owners getting in trouble, Jim Irsay, now he did get suspended for 6 weeks. He didn't lose his revenue for 6 weeks. That's a different issue. And by the way, it is addressed in Playmakers coming out March 15. But this doesn't sit well with me. This is the NFL trying to bury a problem before it becomes a problem that would later need to be buried. They've understood if you never dig the bones out of the ground, you never have to go rebury them somewhere else and nobody notices. So we're just not going to do anything with it. If we do anything with it, it's going to become a mess. So we're just not touching it. That's why they said we will decline comment as this is a club matter. That's my opinion.
Well, I think you're right in saying that all things are club matters that eventually usually become league matters. Right? There's no disputing that. The league is made up of its 32 clubs. So I think inherently when there is something like this and there is a potential misconduct issue, then that should be a league matter. But I also kind of tend to think that when you have a report that is extensive as this one is, that has already been unearthed and has been published, not just in a local newspaper or, I don't know, some different website. It's by ESPN, which brands itself correctly as the worldwide leader in sports. So it's not like this is already something that can now still be covered up inherently, because there's going to be more digging that goes on around this from a reporter standpoint. Right? Because now people are going to say, well, is this the only instance of something that has happened like this? Right? And they're going to start investigating it a little bit more. So I don't know if that means that the league is really going to do something, or that the league, I don't know how the league should be responding to this, I guess is what I want to say. But it doesn't seem like it should be this. It seems like there should be something more.
If they never investigated it at the time, they should investigate it now. Right? First question is, did they know about it? That was my point about the personal conduct policy. When you have an allegation like this made, it isn't throw money at it and get them to sign an NDA so the league never finds out. That was one of the concerns that emerged in the aftermath of the Richardson case, because I think in that case, Richardson and the Panthers had not disclosed the information to the NFL. And there was a period of time, and it was a point that Mark Leibovich, who wrote Big Game, the NFL in Dangerous Times, made when he was pinch hitting for or answering questions from Peter King back in 2018. There's a fear that it's tip of the iceberg, that there's a reality out there that other teams have used these NDAs. Every company has settlement agreements with confidentiality provisions. Have you told the league about it? What in the world was that? That is. Have you told the league about it or not? That's one of the issues. So, Myles, what's going on over there? We lost Myles. Okay. We lost Myles. So I got a kid running around somewhere that I heard in my ear. I don't know if that went out over the air, but if not, there's a kid running around somewhere. Anyway, my point is this, as we try to get Myles back. The NFL should have known about this at the time because the Cowboys should have disclosed it, either when the claims were made or when the settlement was paid. So if that never happened, that's one problem the Cowboys have. If it did happen at the time, why didn't they investigate it? Why was Rich Dalrymple allowed to continue to be employed if they're paying $2.4 million? Was there really no wrongdoing? If so, did they just spend $2.4 million to buy silence? Now, if it never was investigated at the time, should it be investigated now? If the league is just becoming aware of it now. So those are some of the issues that enterprising young reporters should try to, or old reporters in my case, should try to track down as we hold the league accountable. It doesn't matter which team. And see, this is why they tried to brush the Washington Commanders situation under the rug. They weren't trying to protect Daniel Snyder. They were trying to protect themselves from similar jackpots like this.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.